I know it has been so long since I've been on here and done another video. I know, but I am back and I'm so glad to be back. There's been a lot going on. First of all, if you're new to my channel, my name is Delon. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. On my channel, I do inspirational videos, motivational videos, videos about my relationship with God, and really just wanting to share with others, help others, inspire other people, and to push people to their greatest potential. I want to share testimonies, my experiences, the things that I've gone through, the things that God has brought me through, and just living. So first of all, I have a major update. The update is that I have relocated to Houston, Texas. So a lot of you guys know me. You know that I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and that's been my hometown forever. I wasn't born there. I was born in Illinois, but for most of my life, I was raised in Indiana. So that's what I call home. And I made the move to Houston, Texas on September 9th of 2021. So it's been a little over a month since I've been here, and so that's why there's been such a delay with videos and posting and all of that, because things have been moving and grooving and shaking. So I just want to update you guys on some things that are going on in my life right now, and then I'll update you more on some things that I'm just coming into understanding spiritually. I'm in this place that I have been praying about. I'm in this place that God told me I would be in. I knew that I would move. I knew that I would be here. I knew that He would have provision for me. I just didn't know exactly when it would be. And now that I'm actually in it, it seems like it happened so quickly. It happened so quickly. It's like when God says, okay, it's time. It's time. It's that time. Like, it's that time. It's time to move. When He says move, it's time to move. And not just in a physical sense, in a geographical location, but when He tells you to move, like this is the faith time, it's time to go. So a little backstory on Houston. Why Houston? So about 3 years ago, I was living with my parents, and I was, what I would say at the time was rock bottom for me. I had lost my apartment, I had lost my car, I lost my job, I had lost my relationship. I felt very alone and like I had to start all over with things. In that time, I started journaling. In that time, I started getting closer to God. In that time, I started making sure that I had a consecration time, because I needed some guidance. I needed some understanding. I needed to know where I was headed next. And that's what really drew me closer to wanting to know God at that time. This is about 3 years ago. And He began to minister to me through my writing. And one particular day, He told me, "You're going to move to Houston. And I'm gonna provide for you to get there." I thought, He never gave me a date. So I thought at that time, okay, well, I'm in the predicament now where I live with my family. I don't have any responsibilities. I don't have any children. I don't have anything holding me back. Like, why can't I just decide to start saving now to move to Houston? And the thing was, every time I would try to do that, every time I would try to save up, every time I would try to just start even looking for apartments in Houston, there was something that came up where it was just not time. It was just not time. And so a lot of times we can feel like God will give us a revelation or a dream or a yes, and just because it's not in that season, we feel like it's not going to come to pass. And that's not true. That's not true. That is not true. There is a process that happens in that waiting season, in that portion of time from when you receive the yes from God and the time when it actually manifests and come to pass in your life. There's a portion of time there, a growing and processing season that has to happen beforehand. And it's so extremely important that that process happens, because if you were to be taken from where you are now and thrown into that season of yes and manifestation in your life, you wouldn't be able to handle it. You would not be able to handle it because you had not gone through that processing season that was required for your personal growth, so that when you got there, you could sustain the blessing. So that's exactly what God had to deal with me on. So for 3 years, I held on to that yes, knowing that I would be here where I am now, knowing that I would be here, but I knew that there was a process I had to go through. I started getting the go ahead from God on timing this year. in 2021. It was probably closer to about March, after I had started really getting into my quiet time with the Lord and just making sure that I was intentional about it. I had to be very intentional about it, because it's one thing to consecrate a time for the Lord, and even in that time, you're not intentional about what you're seeking him for. You're not intentional about what wisdom he wants to give you. You're not intentional about the relationship building. You're not intentional about the relationship building. You're just saying, okay, this time was carved out for you. I'm going to read my word. This time was carved out for you. I'm going to pray a little bit. This time was carved out for you. But the intentionality in the seeking is what really made the switch. So in that time, I was extremely intentional about where he was taking me. I had received so many prophetic words from going to this conference that I had went to in March. It's called School of Reform. I went to this conference and I had received so many prophetic words and visions and wisdom. And I was like, okay, Lord, so now I have to be intentional about what I've heard. I have to be intentional about seeking you to give me wisdom on where I'm headed next. Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? What is coming next? And so in that intentionality, he then began to reveal to me pieces about when I would move to Houston, what I needed to start looking at, who I needed to connect to, what my apartments were called, where I would be located. It came slowly. It wasn't just a boom, this is going to happen. But I would receive visions or dreams or answers or confirmation through people. There were so many different things that God was giving me signs closer and closer to the time that I moved in September. Back in March, he was telling me, okay, this is coming up. This is coming up. Are you saving for this? You need to do this. He had me start working on my credit. I started working with this particular guy who was really just, I love his spirit. He was just genuinely wanting to see other people succeed. And the way that we got connected was through a friend of a friend. And it's just very interesting the way that we connected. And he helped me to raise my credit score so that when I did apply for the apartment in Texas, I would be approved. And not only that, but I started working on financial literacy and understanding better when it comes to finances, and just all of the things that God knew needed to happen in that process before moving started to happen. So same thing when it came to my job. I was working a job in the office in Indiana, in my hometown. I was actually in the office. God transferred that job to where then I was working a remote job. So it was easier for me to say, okay, I'm leaving this position. I just have to return the computer and all of that. So it was just the way that things were unfolding and laying out so that this would be an easy transition for me. I was living with a roommate at the time, only paying a minimal amount of rent, not even half, just literally no true real things holding me down. I was not bound in a lease. I was not in a job that would not be understanding about me leaving. I was not, and you guys know I had stopped doing makeup, so it wasn't like I was leaving clientele behind. I literally had a free way just to go. And I started to get a little bit anxious because then I started to plan in my own head. Okay, well, how am I going to get there? I don't have much money. What am I going to do? How do you want me to actually get there? And God would just continuously say to me in my prayer time, relax. Do you trust me? Do you trust me, baby, or no? In the time where I just decided to let go of the wheel, things just started happening. People just started. I unless you understand the ways of the Lord, you cannot understand how divine things occur, because there is no coincidence. Things are already laid out to occur. And so when they start happening, you can just expect that it's going to happen anyway, especially if you are in your intentional and quiet time with God and he gives you revelation on what's to come. Then you see it happening. You're like, oh, okay, boom, that's supposed to be there. Boom, got you. I'm going the right way. So I told God that I did not want to work in an office when I got to Texas. I said specifically, God, you know me. You know me. You know me better than I know myself. And you know that it is not my desire to work in an office. It is not my desire to be behind a desk. It is not my desire to be in stuffy scrubs or stuffy outfits, or not being able to really be creative and show who I am through the way I dress, through the way I act, through the way I move, through my nails. I mean, all of that was important to me just in where I wanted to work. And I knew that I was suppressed in that way in the work environment that I was in Indiana. And he knew. He was so... God is so thoughtful. God is so thoughtful. He thought of everything before. He thought of everything before I even got here. He knew what I would want. He knew where I would want to be. He knew the location, like the things that have been occurring since I have been here so naturally, so easily, so just flowing. I've only been here for 1 month. 1 month, and the things that have been happening just in divine alignment, pure joy. I have experienced nothing but gratefulness and joy, gratefulness and joy, gratefulness and joy. Of course, there are things that have happened that I didn't want to happen, but nothing has been a negative thing. Nothing has been anything that I can't learn from or benefit from or grow from or see, okay, this is where you don't want to be. This is what you don't want to do. Now let's shift to this way. Nothing has been detrimental at all. Everything has been full of joy, understanding, learning, wisdom, peace, gratefulness. That's all that has been happening since I moved. And I talk about all the time what's on the other side of faith. What's on the other side of a leap of faith? What's on the other side of obedience and just doing what God told you to do? The path that God put you on, staying on that path. There is this, I can't explain what it is. It's so aligned that it's almost scary. It's like, okay, why is everything working out in my favor? Why is every single thing working out in my favor? And that's because it was supposed to. It's always supposed to. You have the Spirit of Christ. You live for God. Like that's just it. He takes care of his children, period, point blank. You have his spirit. You have his nature. So if you have his nature and his spirit, you're taken care of, period. You will be favored, because that's part of what comes with the inheritance is favor. So I would say maybe a week before I was supposed to move, I still didn't have a job. God was like, don't trip. Don't trip. You're going to be all right. But I still didn't have a job. I had an apartment secured. I didn't know how I was going to get down here. I was like, okay, am I going to take my car? Is my car going to make it? Am I going to be able to fit all of my stuff in my one car, my little Kia? Am I going to be able to fit everything in there? I couldn't afford a U-Haul. I didn't have much money saved up. There was a lot that was going on at the time of my move-in, and God still was like, okay, and what? Nothing is standing in the way. Like, I'm still going to come through for you. So about a week before I got here, I put in an application for Morphe Cosmetics. Morphe Cosmetics is a makeup company. It's a very reputable makeup company that I have loved for a long time. And God had already given me the yes that I would be stepping back into makeup artistry once I got back to Texas. There was a reason that he had me stop in Indiana. It's still not completely clear to me why. The timing and everything, the intricacies of the makeup business has not been clear to me yet, but that's because it's not fully time for me to just boom, I'm taking clients. Boom, I'm starting to, it's not time for that yet. But it is time for me to start bringing back that spark. That and in a new way. It's time for me to come back into makeup artistry, but in a whole different way. And I don't know exactly what he's doing with that yet. So I haven't just jumped into it to say, oh, I'm taking clients. That's not, because it's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like that again. So I've just been obedient in that. And the first step he wanted me to take was with Morphe Cosmetics. And so, you know, as I always pray, Lord, if this is your will, let it be so. If it's not, I don't want it. and I got an interview for Morphe the day after I arrived in Houston. The day after I arrived, I had applied to office job after office job after office job. After telling the Lord I don't want to work in an office, I applied to so many office jobs because I'm like, I can get one. If I really have to have a job, I can get one really quick just so I can get down there and I can, support myself while I'm down here. He was like, nah, you're going to work at Morphe and you're going to love it. So started working at Morphe. I still work there and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love everything about this job, everything about everyone there at this job. Like, I could not have chosen or picked a better fit for myself. And it's 10 minutes away from my house. As y'all know, if you live in Texas, your job could be 30 to 45 minutes away from you, and that's just a regular commute. That's just a regular, up to an hour. That's just a regular commute for Texans because we drive so much. But he was mindful of me, and he knew that I would get frustrated with that and allowed my job to be only 10 minutes from where I live, a place that I love to work. There's so much spontaneity and creativity, and I have come into contact with so many connections and people and creatives already, and I've only been there a month. So the way that interview process worked out, all of that has to be a separate video, y'all. The way the interview process worked out was divine. The way the timing worked out was divine. Everything has been top tier since I've been here. So now I'm getting a little bit more established since I'm here. I still don't have any furniture, which it's a weird love-hate situation because I'm like, I wish that I had some furniture. You know what I'm saying? I wish that I was furnished and got my little feng shui going how I like it. At the same time, I'm so grateful to be where I am. I'm just wanting to relish in every little moment right now. I'm wanting to relish in the fact that I have space to create. I have space to paint. I have space to just walk around. There's an echo in here. Like, I just have all of these little small nuances of moments where I'm just so grateful. Like, I'm here. I'm here. Who cares if I don't have a couch? Who cares if I don't have a couch? I'm here and I'm grateful, and Texas is beautiful and it fits me, and this apartment is beautiful and it fits me, and it's just like, there's no need to complain. There's no need to complain. There's no need to be sad or upset or unfulfilled or unsatisfied. I don't feel that way in any way at all. There was a lot, and there still is a lot of temptation here in Texas. This is a bigger city. There are more people. There are more things to do. There's more to entice your mind, to entice your eyes, to entice your ears. There are so many things that you could get into here. And I'm in the heart of Houston. Like, I'm downtown area. There's so many things that you could get into that my eyes were like golf balls. Like, okay, God, you really gonna have to you gonna have to get your girl, because it's a lot out here. It's a whole lot out here, and it's not necessarily all negative or all temptation, but there's so many opportunities too. Like, you could do anything out here and make money. You could do anything out here and make good connections. You could literally, there's a lot of opportunity in Houston, Texas. That's what I absolutely love about it. But there's also a piece of that that's like, you just have to be careful. You just have to be careful, because you can get caught up. You can get spiraled into the big city life where you just doing your own thing. You just coasting and doing your own thing. And I felt like I had fallen into that when I first got here, because I was like, oh, let's just go eat here. Let's just go hang out here. Let's just oh, they seem nice, all of these things. And I was like, okay, hold on, back it up. You still came here on assignment, baby. You still came here on assignment. You still came here with a purpose and a goal. You still came here because God ordained for you to be here. So now you need to get back in connection and figure out what it is that he's asking from you. Why am I here? You know what I'm saying? This is not just to play around. There's a reason that I'm here. There's a reason that you brought me here. And it's still only been a month, so I'm still in that process of figuring out exactly why he wanted me here, or what he wants me to do, what he's called me to when it comes to doing these things. But this is a promised land for me. This is a promised area for me. This is a part of the promises that he has spoken over me and told me since I was born. The things, I mean, there's so many dreams and visions and goals and things that he told me that I would do that are attached to this area. And so I know that those things are about to start unfolding, and I just have to be tunnel vision. I just have to have tunnel vision when it comes to it. There is a certain level of accountability that I have had to have for myself as well, because I'm like, I'm alone. Before, I had friends around me, I had people around me who saw me constantly and who could kind of tell what space I'm in. And now that I'm alone, I've gotten a lot better at hiding that from people. I've gotten a lot better at putting on a brave face, or just making it seem like I'm not needing accountability, which I do. I do. We all do. But I've also gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, now you still have to be, though you need accountability in community, you need accountability with yourself. Do you stick to your word? Do you do what you said you're going to do? Because it's so this is my first time living alone in a new state. I did go to college in Chicago. That was different though. You know what I'm saying? Things are kind of set up for you to, you don't have to figure out housing and food and all of that on your own. This is my first time really completely branching out the way that I am now on my own. And there's a level of accountability that I've had to have for myself. And I've just seen myself in more of a clear way. Like, it's like, okay, there's just you here. So whatever happens, whatever occurs, whatever you allow is who you are. That's who you are. And so there are so many things that I would like to change. There are so many things that I would like to shift and create a better version of the woman that God has called me to be. A better version. And that all comes with growth. It all comes with change. It all comes on the other side of that leap of faith. You're going to elevate. You're going to grow. You're going to be established. You're going to change and shift. It's just a part of the natural evolution of what God has called us to be. You're not called to stay in the same spot spiritually ever. So as I am growing, as I am changing, I am just seeing myself more clearly. And I can't really explain the feeling with that either, because there's so many emotions tied to it. There's a lot of healing going on right now, a lot of self-realization and actualization. And in that process, there's so much growth and change that is coming, change that comes as well. There are things that I've noticed about myself that I didn't know before. The way that I think about things, or what I spend my time doing mostly. And there are things that God has brought to my attention that I didn't know about. And so in that communication with him, there has been this newfound understanding of who he's called me to be. A newfound understanding of where I am now and where he's trying to take me, and what needs to change and what's been in the way, and all of those types of things. So, and that comes just from being on your own, just from growing, just from stepping out on faith and doing something different. All of those things, you will learn more about who you are, about who, you know, God called you to be, and all of those things. So, yeah, I just wanted to update you guys, let you guys know that I absolutely love it here. I adore it here. Like, not only do I feel like home, I still feel like I'm on a mini vacation. It's like there's so much to see and do. I constantly feel like I am excited. Like, I'm not bored with anything. I am constantly excited on just this high of just, I feel joy. I feel joy. I have been living in joy since I got down here. And I just want to encourage someone who is thinking about just change. thinking about change, thinking about going for the things that God has called you to do, whether it be a business or a lifestyle change or a geographical move, whatever God has been calling you, going back to school, whatever God has been calling you to do, and it feels like a change to you, do it. Do it, because on the other side of that, there is this divine alignment on the other side. There's something about faith. There's something about belief. There is something about true belief in something that just allows it to manifest into your life, especially when it is God's divine for you to have it. If it's in God's will, because it's one thing to try to, I want to manifest a man, so I'm going to just, it's one thing to try to do that and just think with your flesh, whatever you want to appear into your life. There's another thing to be so aligned with God that he manifests it in your life, that he brings it to pass, because it's so much of a, not even just a better feeling, it's so much of a favorable outcome in all ways, that whatever he brings to fruition in your life was meant specifically for you. It wasn't like, oh, this could have gone to such and such and such. Oh, we both could have. This was meant specifically for you. Like, it's so pinpoint perfect for you. You couldn't even bring it to pass. He had to bring it to pass because he created you and he knows exactly what you need. Man, just trust God, okay? That's period, point blank. Just trust God, because he is going to come through every single time in every single way, and you don't have to worry about anything. You don't. You really don't. You don't. Don't worry. So I am wanting to do more vlogging. I'm wanting to do more speaking with you guys. I'm wanting to do more and just showing you guys the progression, the accelerated is the word. There is a divine acceleration on my life right now, and it is progressively happening so quickly that I have to document this. I have to document this process some type of way. So I'm going to make more videos with you guys. I'm going to just be sharing with you what the Lord says to me, where he's taken me, what he wants to speak to you guys. And I just hope that I can encourage and inspire someone through the testimony that God has given me. And yeah, that's all I want to say. I will definitely be uploading more in a timely manner, making sure that I'm staying on top of this. There's really nobody to hold accountable for that but me. And so, yeah, I love you guys. I thank you guys just for staying with me, sticking with me, for wanting to see more content from me. And I love you. I really do. I can't wait to see you guys again. Bye.